wrote an article about the making of this film, or the struggle of making this film, while we were doing a Kickstarter campaign last fall. And it was literally his article that was our tipping point to having so much support behind the Kickstarter, which led to completing this film. And if it wasn't for our Kickstarter being successful, this would not probably ever be made. So I want to acknowledge Milo Yiannopoulos. So because we're short on time, I'm going to bring up the cast. So Mark Angelucci, will you walk on down? Fred Hayward. Fred Hayward, can you come up to the front? Harry Crouch. Are you still here, Harry Crouch? Dara DeJour, can you come on down?
How was the film? What did you think?
All the way from Atlanta.
Good. Very good. Well executed.
Roy Schofield, would you like to come on down? And last but not least, Mr. Paul Elam. Can you come on down?
All right, so we're live at the LA premiere of the Red Pill documentary. They're having a Q&A.
Again, we are
I'm going to
short
record
for time,
it.
but we'd like to open it up for questions if anyone has a question for anyone on the stage, or if you all would like to say anything as well, you're welcome to.
Yeah, thank you.
This is many of your first time seeing the film, so could you tell me some of your thoughts?
Well, many thoughts, but first, thank you for producing it and doing what you did.
Speaking to the mic.
Just thanking Cassie for who she is and doing what she did. That's my best thought about the movie. I don't think it would have, I never had a thought a movie like this would ever have been done. And I think because of it, Cassie, when more and more people hear about it, you just set the stage for changing the world.
Yeah, I just want to say the same thing. I was telling Cassie before the film, I was just giving her my thank you, and I was telling her how, you know, a lot of us have been in this movement for a very long time, and many of them longer than me. But I see so many others coming up and coming out of the woodwork, and it's amazing because a lot of us remember a time like I started around 1998 when you didn't see anything going on. There'd be a website with maybe 12 people or really nothing, and when you were marginalized on your campus. I published articles in the late 90s at UCLA in the Daily Bruin on men's rights, and you just were really marginalized, and to come this far and have something like this, it really is deep for me, really hits home. I almost cried watching today, and I cannot thank you enough, everybody, for being here. But Cassie, I just cannot thank you enough. There's nothing I could possibly do to thank you for what you've done. That's all. I really mean it.
Believe me, these guys didn't try to strong-arm me into making a film for what they care about, but it's just the honesty of when you start digging into these issues, the film goes into all the many different rabbit holes you can go down, and it's very complicated when you start going down those rabbit holes. It's a lot of gray area.
Contrary to Mark, I did cry the first time I saw the film as I relived the story of me and my son. And something happened after Cassie did those interviews. My son came back in my life, and he's sitting right over there.
Hi, everybody. It's been so amazing to be a witness to Cassie's journey. It's been such an honor and a privilege, and Cassie and I were friends. I'm a journalist, and I interviewed her for her first 2 films, and we were both ardent feminists and bonded on that, and we've had so many heated conversations over the course of the last few years, and my growing concern for how radical feminism has become and how it's sort of become the mainstream and the assault on freedom of speech, which is I'm a huge proponent for freedom of speech, especially on college campuses and everything that I've seen. So it's definitely changed my perspective, and a lot was said in the film about listening to men, and it's so important, and it's something that is, I almost see it as more of a spiritual, this movement is more of a spiritual movement, and so it's around unity. And so for that, I completely support you guys, and I'm just so honored to be here. So thank
you. We remember the late Robin Williams. Before he took his own life, to paraphrase a quote he had, there was a kind of loneliness that you felt when you're around other people, but you still felt alone. And much of this movement has been about men who've experienced things that made them feel more alone, even around people that they love, or at least that they thought they loved, or still want to love. And what Cassie has done has made people feel less alone, has given us a catalyst for that unity. And that, I think, is beautiful. And I definitely, wholeheartedly thank you for that.
Thank you again, Cassie. I was in New York last week for this, and it was even more moving this time. I don't want to repeat what everybody else has said up here, but I do want to encourage people in the audience, please ask your friends to see this film. Please support it when it becomes available. Support this good human being's work. This was an act of bravery and commitment that should be recognized. They're already panning it in the mainstream. They're already attacking, like we know they would. So please support it. Encourage others too. Thank you.
I really see this film as a turning point. If we can get away from feminism and get to humanism, we're really headed in the right direction. I was happy to see that Cassie did include a segment on, or include the issue of genital mutilation, and that's what I work with so many people around the globe to end. In the United States, we have mainly a problem with male genital mutilation, but we really are working to end human genital mutilation for males, females, and individuals. I'm very happy to see that the film is going to be coming to the Bay Area, because I know there's a lot of excitement there, and that excitement that I saw is what got me to come down here. So that's great, and forgive me if I put a little plug in for my friend Brendan Marotta, who's coming out with a new documentary shortly. It's called American Circumcision, and it's a really great, thorough discussion of the topic with all sides represented, and people can see it for what it is, and hopefully we'll move past this very sad chapter in human history of hurting children because who they are. Thank you very much, Cassie.
Okay, so we have time for 2 questions.
Let's start with one.
Okay, we'll work over there. Ask for an inch. Okay. 1 question. Anyone have a question? Right there?
I don't have a question, it's more of a comment. Just want to thank you guys. Truthfully, you make me proud to be a human being. So,
let's go right here in the red.
My question is to the activists and people who have been doing such great work to spread awareness.
Speak up, please.
My question is to all of you who have been sort of in the trenches on this and dedicating your life to it, and have reached this point now where your voices are going to extend out further. What's next for you? What's next?
Take that. Thank you very much. It gives me an opportunity to get a plug in too. This is my vice president, Mark Angelucci, from the National Coalition for Men. Mr. Elam down there is one of our award winners. Cassie will soon be one. We have other people in the audience here, the NCFM members, including Thomas over here. Nice haircut. We've been around for 40 years. Next year is our 40th year anniversary. To your question, we've been working on this for 40 years. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine those people that came before Mark, came before me, came before other people in this room, who put their lives at risk 35, 40 years ago? So where do we go from here as far as we can take it? And thanks to people like Paul and Cassie, since the issues are going to become more and more pronounced in our society, and awareness is going to be heightened, we will all continue to work on these issues. By example of our organization, I have a wonderful woman up in Oregon, and next year will be our fourth year trying to get paternity fraud legislation passed in the state of Oregon. Last year it failed because there was one provision in the bill that held women accountable for making a false allegation. That's what killed the bill. So we will continue to work. Mark's got an active case filed against the Selective Service System. Our next hearing in federal court is the 24th. I think we're going to kick their ass. So our organization does more than just talk about things. We get things done. But Cassie and Paul, man, they got a mouth. That's what's going to change the plan. And thank you very much again.
You guys want to say anything or open up to one more question? Right here?
Yeah, I wanted to first give you kudos, Cassie. I remember when you were, starting the Kickstarter campaign, and I think your presence in the film prevents anybody from labeling it propaganda for me, and I like the fact that you showed yourself being challenged, your feminist views being challenged, and that leads me to my question. Have you had women who you were either close friends with, or if not close friends, just really good acquaintances with, that were, say, hardcore feminists, that have now shunned you because you made this movie?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
And how has that affected you? And
yeah, so I've been working on this film for 3.5 years, and the Kickstarter was really the first time I announced publicly online that I am making this movie, or I'm trying to make this movie. Will you help me? And but before that, the previous 2 years, when I did start telling friends that I was making a film about the men's rights movement, and many of them knew that I was a feminist, often they would say, "Why are you giving them a platform to speak?" That was the most common reaction I got from anyone, even just acquaintances. And a lot of my close friends, when I started to learn the issues and try to debate or just have a discussion about these issues, that's when it would get so heated to the point of tears or walking out and slamming doors and not talking to each other for a while, and some, I haven't spoken to since they've known that I was making this film. So, there's a experience of being ostracized when you start talking about these issues, and over my 3.5 years of making this film, it was a very slow progression for me to start letting the barriers down of whatever wall was in my way to really hear what MRAs were saying and see the bigger picture. So it was a very slow process, and if I wasn't making a film about this, I don't know if I would have stuck with it as long as I did, because if you've ever gone through questioning your identity or your belief system, it's a very terrifying experience. And so, I wanted to quit so many times just from the psychological standpoint of it, and also not having a lot of support from friends and family, although I did have some strong people in my life, like my boyfriend Evan and my mom Nina and Anna sticking with me, and my stepdad Jay and my friend Glenn, and so many people in this room. So yeah, the close, strong friends are what kept me through.
When I saw Gone Girl, when I was at the theater women were leaving and complaining that women were misrepresented in the screenwriter. She said that she had feminists come after her. So I find it ironic that you're presenting this in the film industry. Do you feel like Hollywood in general contributes to the unfair demonization of men and just gives women a pass and never shows a balance?
Oh, yes.
But you know, just some food for thought when you leave this theater. Think about, I'm a female filmmaker and I'm not lifted up for because I'm making a film about men's issues. So I think when you start talking about men's issues, that's drawing the line. We are not going to help. Because in the film industry, it's one of the most least amount of women in that field in the director position, and that's a big feminist issue, is trying to get more female directors. And I have not seen any support for being a female filmmaker when making this film. So, right here.
So anybody in the front row, how do you have discussions with people who don't already share your ideas, and combat some of the logical fallacies that prevent them from understanding or being willing to listen or engaging in those arguments?
Gimme.
Yeah.
I'm going to intercept. I don't talk to them.
Hey, Ruben,
I don't ever talk.
I know you were coming.
I talk to the people who are already willing to listen. And they talk to other people. And that causes friction, and it causes discussion, and ultimately can prompt something like this. But I don't try to reason with irrational people. It just doesn't work.
Might have to switch with you again. So one thing I did was I was focusing on collegiate activism. I started a student organization that worked on this stuff, but I had to deal with a lot of people who weren't sure how to deal with the issues, and to what Paul was saying, that's completely true. The people who are willing to listen to it, you have that conversation, but then there's the people who start their own conversation with you and have already decided that you're the enemy. So I've been the subject of a few police reports. I've been the subject of even some almost attempted litigation. Like, it was getting really, really heated on campus. And at that point, you're stuck in that situation where you do have to have a discussion with somebody who has decided openly not to have anything to do with what you're doing. So how do you combat that? The real answer to that is you have a recorder running at all times, and then you handle it through someone else, a mediator, an ombudsman, a Title IX coordinator, and even the court of public opinion if necessary. The idea is that eventually you start to let the facts and let the public speak for you, because honestly, you've already been disqualified from the conversation. So you need to build kind of a conversational shield at all times and be prepared. And it never hurts if any of you know about Columbo, that old TV detective. He's a great role model for this stuff, because the more kindred and easier to underestimate that you are, the more of the game they give away, and the easier it is to get around it and even to finally win once and for all in the discussion. That's half the reason I'm still here today and probably not in prison, is because I took a lot of lessons from Columbo. So you take that approach, protect yourself, and keep that shield.
Guys, we gotta move out of the theater. So
All right, bye.
in front of the theater, if there's more, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Is that it?
Thank you so much.
Is that Milo? Is that Milo Yiannopoulos? Is that Milo live? We're seeing live.
Are you ever not on Periscope?
Periscope people.
Not on.
All right, we're live now. Behind me, as you can see, is the elusive Milo Yiannopoulos. He's making a rare public appearance. He's trying to hide. He's trying to hide from the camera. He's being assailed by fans everywhere. What did you think, Shauna? Was it good? Was it lit?
Let's see a Periscope.
It was lit. Okay. All right. Q&A's over. Q&A over. Q&A's over. Banter begins. The banter begins. Give me your best trolls. All right, trolls. It's your time now, trolls. Start trolling me. I can talk shit back now. I'm unchained from the shackles of civilization. We got swag here. A little bit of swag, a little red pill swag going in mine. Hey, how are you, man?
Nice.
All right. Good. Hey, good to meet you.
Periscope.
Running Periscope. Yeah. What'd you think of the film?
Yeah, it was really good to be able to see. How's it going?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Something
Good.
that you don't get to see a lot of.
Yeah. How was it? Well done. Was it a well done film? How do you think?
Yeah, I thought she did a good job of it. There were a couple of times where I was throughout it. I was kind of thinking, oh, let's work. Let's be objective. Let's work in a little bit more of the other angle. And then she brought it in. And it worked. I thought it flowed pretty nice.
Great. So how'd you hear about the red pill?
From you.
Oh, okay.
Actually.
Well, thank you.
Follow you online, man.
Doubly welcome.
I like your journalism.
We got Milo's here too. We got a full house. Full party crew. I'm gonna say hi to people after I shit talk a little bit. Thanks for coming out. How you doing? No, say hi. Right now I'm just being trolled by savages on Periscope. So yeah, what'd you think of the film?
Loved it.
Want me on Periscope or? Prefer not to. Cool, what you say? Good, well done. Yeah, I thought she did a great job. I mean, it looked. I have a documentary coming, and I think it's probably better produced than mine. So
I just
better not be.
I love
Curious, who are you?
Oh, Mike.
You're somebody.
No, I'm just a regular guy. Mike Cernovich.
Mike Cernovich.
Okay, great, thank you. I'm a little stuffed. I comb my hair today. I'm hard to recognize when I comb the hair. Actually, the opposite of other people.
Yeah, she did. She did great, and it was really well edited. It was put together, and it was really excellent.